Hi, this is Amy Engelmark. Welcome to the live webinar. I'm just getting all set up for you. Now there's a few things going on here, as you can probably tell. I am a bit angelic looking today. There's something fuzzy going on with my screen and I wasn't able to work it out, so you can still hear my voice and you'll still be able to see my screen share. Hopefully everything will be clear other than my face. So welcome to the webinar. This webinar is called Breakthrough to Your Fun and Fabulous Life. I'm super excited to be on here live with you today, and for those of you who are watching, to be in contact with you as well. So I'm just going to grab a sip of my tea, and when you join, if you could please put your name and where you're from in the chat room to the right, that would be great. I'm also going to put some goodies for you there soon. I got given this wonderful mug from a friend of mine, Denise, on one of my birthdays a couple years ago, and I love it. It's my biggest mug, nice and fat to hold a lot of tea. So you can find out more about me, my coaching, my programs, and my expertise, who I work with, at amyengelmark.com. That's AMYENGLEMARK. Hi, Kristen. Nice to have you on the webinar. It would be lovely to be in the same room with you drinking tea, all of you. So fun to connect with people far and wide on these webinars. So fun. So if you're just joining us, I know, I'm super happy too. If you're just joining us, then please put your name to the right in the chat bar and where you're from before we get going. I'm just going to put my website over here so that you can access it if you want to. And also, I'm going to post a link for all of you who are joining live and who are joining us for the replay. And it is my 2 chapters, my first chapter and my second chapter of my upcoming book. It's called From Burnt Out to Bliss. And it's a 30-day challenge for high achievers to have more freedom and more fun in their lives. So I'm going to give you all those 2 free chapters. So let me just post those now so you can, let me see here, so you can have access to them. Just give me 1 sec. Does not want to let me get in here. All right, I've almost got them for you. Hope you're having a wonderful day and feeling good today. Here are those chapters for you. And pretty soon I will hop into the webinar that I'm focusing on for today. Let me just pull up what I need. I'm going to be sharing my screen with you. So I'm going to need my slides to share with you. We've got people working in our yard right now who are doing a transformation. I'm so excited to see it after this webinar. Transformation of our yard. All right. Thanks for being patient while I get this going. Okay, so you've got my 2 free chapters up there for all of you who are watching the replay and all of you who are on live. I see that someone wants to hop on but is maybe having a bit of a hard time. Let me know if you need a hand. All right. We are going to hop on. Today's webinar is called Keeping Your Family Time at the Top of Your To-Do List. So often it's really easy to let your family time slip off of your to-do list. So we're going to be talking about some steps that I have, 5 or 6 steps for you to take so that you can always make sure you're having a lot of fun, even when you're working very hard. So stick around to the end of the webinar because I have a giveaway. I always give some sort of goodie away during these webinars for those of you who are on live. And I'm going to ask you a question at the end of the webinar. And if you can answer it right, and you're the first person to answer, then you get this. I picked up this really fun bag. It's a Marilyn Monroe bag. It's one of those grocery bags, but it's covered with kisses. And I thought, this would be fun. Any woman usually would love to walk around with something that's colorful and bright and has kisses on it. Well, not all of you maybe, but if you win this, you want to give it to another friend, go for it. Okay, let's get going. I'll tell you my story, a little bit of my story and how it relates to making family fun time when I'm juggling a lot. So when I was a young mom, when I had my kids and they were 1 and 3, I had no clue really how to prioritize fun time because back then it looked a lot different than it does now when my boys are 8 and 10. So what I found was I started feeling like fun time had to happen with like girlfriends who were also had young kids, and we would get together for coffees and stuff like that. But that was even hard to make happen because there was naps to consider. People were sleeping at weird and wonderful hours of the day and night, and I was tired. And when I didn't really even have time to take care of my own health so well, I felt a little discouraged, and that sometimes led to feelings of helplessness, because when you don't have a solution for your problem, you get feeling a lot less than confident and you get feeling helpless. So you need a solution for your problem. When you're working really hard now, when my business is solid and flourishing, and my husband also has his own business, so there's 2 entrepreneurs in the house, and we have kids as well, we still want to have fun. Why else would we have a family? Why else would we be together as a couple? Because we like each other and we want to spend time with one another, but that can fall off the bottom of your priority list. It can get lost in the muddle of everything that needs your attention. So today, I want to share with you what I've learned on my own personal life journey that's really, really, really helped me transform the balance in my life so that I can make more time for fun, and I do, and how you can too. Because it's no fun feeling helpless or depressed or anxious because you don't have the lifestyle that you want to be living. So we're going to hop into the steps now that you can take so that you can transform the experience you're having every single day with your family or fun time with your friends. So let me start screen sharing with you, okay? Give me a second here. All right, so this is the webinar that I host every week. It's called Breakthrough to Your Fun and Fabulous Life. And it's all about creating time for yourself and learning how to stress less and deal with your anxiety, deal with time management, and make 2016 really awesome. So you can always register at amyengelmark.com/webinar training, and feel free to pass on that link to anyone who you feel would benefit or really loves personal growth. Here's me with a bit of longer haircut in my yard. This is where I study and train others to have better life balance, be able to manage their time effectively so that they can have fun, have free time. And I also cover on these webinars strategies so that you can really kickstart your health and create more peace of mind and mental clarity. Here's me with some of the women that I've taught live and shared my workshops with. So sometimes I'm live, sometimes I'm over the webinar, sometimes I have my group calls over the phone. So there's many different ways that I teach. Like I said, stick around for the free goodies because you guys are awesome and I love to give things away. I love to give things away. So I will send that bag to one of you in the mail. And it's so fun to get things in the mail. So stick around. This is what I promise you this webinar will be like for you. So I know that those of you who are on and those of you who are watching the replay, you're busy and you want to be able to have it all. You want to be able to have health, travel, fun, rest. So I'll show you the foundation that I use for success that's worked and helped many of my clients develop that lifestyle of success. And you're going to walk away today with a fabulous system for how to have all of those things and not get so stressed out about how you're going to create that life. So I'll show you what habits you need to start practicing so that you can be successful and productive and have that lifestyle that you want. These are some things you'll discover on the webinars every week. I cover stress management strategies, and they really help you take control of your mind. So if you apply these strategies in the next 30 days and you consciously make time to go back over your notes from these webinars, you're going to notice changes that make you really happy. You're also going to get new results in areas where you may have felt held back because of the old habits you were stuck in. So this is exciting because developing new habits and new actions are going to lead you into this life that you may have been wanting to live for a long time. We also cover strategies to help you break through fears and self-doubt. Man, that's a really humongous one. It can be a very big obstacle in some of your lives. Self-doubt keeps you from making yourself a priority. And even if you don't know where you're going to find the time for yourself, I'm going to show you how you can, because you are worth it. We'll talk about emotions and how you can become the master of your emotions instead of them being the master of you. We'll also talk about the mindset that you need to live a healthy life, a life of integrity that lines up with your thoughts, so that your thoughts and your actions and your values, they all line up. And that makes it so that you can feel proud about the decisions you're making and the actions you're taking. It's a really, really good feeling to know that you're walking the talk. I'll help you get really clear on your goals so that you can learn what commitments you need to maybe let go of and what commitments you need to refresh and take action on. Here's me with even longer hair. Man, all these different haircuts. A little bit about me. I'm the author of the upcoming book that I told you about, From Burnt Out to Bliss. And I'm working away at editing that book right now so that it can be in your hands soon. I'm also a speaker, coach, trainer, mentor. I've worked with many different professionals, from marketing experts to realtors, lawyers, physicians, mompreneurs. I've worked with so many different people in different professions, a lot of people in healthcare professions, veterinarians, and I've hosted workshops, run group coaching programs with members from all over North America. And the systems that I use are what I teach in these webinars and in my group coaching programs. They've worked for me. I've seen the results, and I've also seen the results because they've worked in my clients' lives. So that's what I'll be sharing with you today. Here's me teaching live in several different group settings, sometimes for entrepreneurs and business owners to banks and caregivers, people who often will put their needs at the bottom of the list and put others' priorities at the top. So they need to learn how to switch that so that they're taking care of their own needs and they feel happy and tended to, so that you have more to give to others, right? More energy. Here's me biking in some of our local trails. I absolutely love being outside, love being in nature. It invigorates me and I feel alive again. More outside time. Here's my boys. There's Simon on the left, he's 8, and Gavin on the right, he is 10. I love surfing and still have a board that I've had since I was 15 or 16 and can't seem to let go of it. We're good friends. Here's Gavin and I again on a hike. We all love to spend time outside. And my husband, Beach, he is on the left there. We spend a lot of time on the west coast of our island here, Vancouver Island, having fun. So let's get into the meat and the potatoes of our webinar today. This is a free webinar. So my training is free every Wednesday at 11. And today our focus is keeping family time at the top of your to-do list. So instead of letting one of your highest priorities slip and then being really unhappy with what your life is looking like, how you're managing your time, we're going to talk about how you can create an action plan so that family time is close to the top again. And don't worry, you're not going to lose your productivity. It's not going to suffer just because you're rearranging how you spend your time. It actually improves your productivity, if you can believe it. So here are the ingredients you are going to need to write down today so that you can actually make that yummy, yummy cake, that family fun cake. These are the ingredients. There's 6. You need to evaluate your values. So this is getting really in touch with the emotional states that you want to feel at any given time during the day. And when you don't feel those values, you don't feel those emotions, something feels off inside. So that's what real true values are. We'll talk more about values soon. Another ingredient you need is to raise your standards, or maybe some of you need to create realistic standards that don't stress you out. Some of you will need to raise your standards and start living in a bigger pair of shoes because you need to give yourself credit. You're able and capable of doing and being more than you've maybe given yourself credit for in the past. Also, we are going to develop clear boundaries. So what does that mean? We're going to hop into what that means and how you can develop boundaries without feeling guilty or selfish. Another ingredient is to learn to trust others and let go of control and the need to do everything your way, have everything done your way, because that just keeps you chained to responsibilities that really keep you stuck as far as how you spend your time. And the last 2 ingredients you need to make this delicious cake of family fun happen so you can eat it is to plan ahead and then, most importantly, to take action on the steps that you're going to learn today. So let's get going. Let's move forward here. How do you want to feel? This is really going to help you. We're going to dive a little bit into some coaching right now. How do you want to feel? This is going to help you determine what your values are. So your values aren't simply your family, even though family or your husband, marriage, maybe those are some of your values if I asked you what your values are. But if you dig deeper and like peel the next layer off your onion, your deeper values, your true values are actually how your family makes you feel, or how material objects make you feel. Like if you value your home, how does that make you feel? Maybe it makes you feel secure. Write that down. Write that feeling down. Maybe your family makes you feel love. Write that down. Maybe your family makes you feel connected. So whatever it is, whatever emotional state that you would feel really uncomfortable without, if you didn't have it in your life, even for a couple days, you would start feeling deprived. That'll give you a really clear picture of what your values are. And why I put this at the top of the ingredient list for creating a life that's filled with more fun family time and friend time is because if you know your values, they can act as your compass. And everybody needs a compass in life. If we don't have a compass, then we don't know where we're heading, right? So when you have a compass, you know what your highest priorities are, how you want to feel every day, then making decisions is easier. How you choose to spend your time becomes easier. It doesn't take so much time to make a decision because you know what decisions would be in line with your priorities. You know what decisions would lead you to feeling more of those emotions that you desire, right? So get clear on your values and then use them as a compass to help you make decisions so that you can prioritize what's most important to you. And I'm assuming if you're on this webinar that family time is important to you. And family time may make you feel, like I said, connected, may make you feel love, may make you feel respect. I'm not sure the emotion that it is, but you'll have more time to feel that way when you're clear on what's most important to you. So what are your top 3 values? If you've written a few down, just wanted to share with you some of my top 3 values. Some of mine are integrity, connection, and health. When I'm feeling at my best health-wise, I'm happier, I am more compassionate towards others, and I have a clear mind to be able to be productive. So health is top up there. So is connection to my family, friends, God. When I don't feel connected, I feel sad, which leads to heavier and heavier feelings. So connection is really important to me. Integrity is super duper important to me, and it might be my top priority. When I make decisions in line with what's most important to me, it makes me feel so good. And when I'm out of line with what is most important to me and what I say I'm going to do, I really, really dislike that feeling of incongruency inside, right? So, what are your top 3 values? You need to identify these. Try and identify some of them today, if not maybe your top 3 today. Because this is going to give you the compass that you need. And it's going to help you with the following steps. I want to share with you a couple testimonials today, and this one is from a friend of mine who's a physician here on Vancouver Island, and she was really feeling like she came upon a time in her life when she was balancing a lot. She had 1 child at the time, and she's since had another. She wasn't managing her time the way that she wanted to, wasn't treating herself health-wise the way she wanted to, wasn't making time for her health, and any time that was left over with her husband she wasn't really spending it the way she wanted to. She wasn't finding that she had the fun time that she wanted to with him. And we worked on some really big thinking patterns that she had formed, and I helped her transform those thinking patterns so that she could deal with her stress more effectively in a healthy way and renew her energy sources. And that was a humongous shift for her. Her life has really changed since then. Here's the second step, the second ingredient in the fun cake. And that is to raise your bar, or raise your expectations of yourself. Raise your expectations of yourself, or maybe you need to make realistic expectations for yourself. So what do I mean by this? I mean that some people are too easy on themselves. Some people don't want to make an effort, but they still want to see different results showing up in their lives. So I don't know how you're going to do that, but I have been in that place. I have been in that seat where I'm feeling like, well, I really so desperately, so badly want something different to be showing up in my life than it actually is. So what's going on here? Why am I not taking action and doing things differently so I can get a new result? Well, I needed to raise my own expectations of myself. I actually needed to trust when I couldn't see what was around the corner, when I was offered with this opportunity to take a risk. I needed to step up to the plate. So maybe you need to do that too. Maybe you need to step up to the plate and really put on a bigger pair of shoes. And it might be uncomfortable when you're walking around in that bigger pair of shoes and you're expecting more of yourself. But it won't be uncomfortable for long because you're going to grow into those shoes. It's like when a mentor or a teacher or a friend believes in you, then you want to live up to that expectation, right? So today it has to start in your heart. If you believe that you are capable of becoming more of a person in this area of your life, making more of your time count with your family, being purposeful about how you spend your time, then you're going to grow into those bigger set of shoes. You're going to mature in this area of your life. And believe me, we all have room for improvement, right? So whether it is that you need to raise your expectations of yourself, or maybe you need to make more realistic expectations, some of you, when I was talking about raising the bar for yourselves, you might have already started to give yourself a guilt trip. And I don't want you to do that. I want you to be gentle on yourself because you're doing a wonderful job. Just because you need improvement doesn't mean that you've failed or that you're lacking. We all have room for improvement. So definitely do not give yourself a lashing or talk badly to yourself or put pressure on yourself. Just become aware of the areas where you want to tweak this week and give yourself a pat on the back for how you've managed and what the life that you've created so far looks like. So many people spend more time giving themselves a lashing than they do speaking life into themselves, encouraging themselves, and acknowledging themselves. So if you've got to raise your bar, it's okay, but be gentle on yourself. Some of you need to create more realistic standards so that you can have more fun. Maybe you're putting too much on your plate, expecting too much of yourself, and that's creating stress for you. So if that's you, you may be doing this because you feel like you have to prove something to yourself or to other people, but you're already enough. And if you haven't been told that before, I'd love to tell you that 10 times, that you are already enough. You have incredible worth, and you don't have to prove anything to yourself or to your spouse or to your coworkers or boss by taking on more than you can handle. You are only human, and that's okay. You need other people, and that's how we were created. That's okay. So what kind of realistic expectations could you hold for yourself instead of expecting yourself to accomplish 10 things on your to-do list every single day? What about 3? What about your 3 top priorities? So that you have more time for your family and you can relax more. Because that balance is going to help you be more productive, and it's going to help you be more creative. For some of you, it's going to help you increase your income just by prioritizing your own health and the health of your family. Amazing trickle effects start happening in your work life. It's amazing. Here's the next ingredient. So the third ingredient is creating some healthy boundaries for yourself. So what do I mean by creating healthy boundaries? Why would you need to create clear boundaries if you want to be able to have more fun? Well, if you don't have healthy boundaries, then what happens is actually, whether you have healthy boundaries or not, you're communicating things to other people by the way that you choose to spend your time. If you are always accepting, you're always saying yes to people who are asking you to volunteer or work late, help them out in some way, then you're always going to be the go-to person that they come to because you never are standing up for how you want to spend your time. And sometimes that can happen because people feel guilty or selfish for saying no. They feel like their priorities, how they want to spend their time, that they feel like they themselves are less of a priority or less important than other people, which is a crock of crap. It's not the truth at all. I want you to know that you're just as important as anybody else that you work with, whether they're your boss or your child or your spouse. It doesn't matter. You're just as important. And just because you have different priorities than them doesn't mean that those priorities aren't important. So when I'm talking about boundaries, you need to think to yourself, am I going to be, here, let me just hop over here. Am I going to be a doormat or a doorbell? So by doormat, you are letting people take advantage of you. And you can't blame others or resent others for that, because it's your responsibility where you're going to draw the boundary line. What am I going to prioritize in my life? And how am I going to communicate to other people that I'm not available? Or maybe you could find somebody else, they're better for that job. Or I've got an appointment. There are many different ways to set boundaries. And you don't always have to say, no, I can't, or no, I'm not available, or whatever. But you will get to that point where saying no is easier. Because when you do, you're saying yes to yourself. You're saying, yes, I'm important. Yes, I'm valuable. Yes, my priorities are important, just as much as theirs. So you have to take a stand for something, right? When people ring your doorbell, they're asking you, can I come in? Can you help? Will you spend your time this way? Or you don't even have a doorbell on your door. You let them just come and walk all over you all the time. So it's your choice. Can't blame others, can't resent others for your choices. This is where you might want to put on bigger shoes again and step up and take responsibility for how you're spending your time, how you're giving it away. This is how you can rearrange your time in your life, take back control of that, and start spending it in new ways that invigorate you and your family and bring you closer together. So here is another testimony from a woman in Vancouver. She's a lawyer, and she was finding that her fun time was seriously lacking. When she came to me, she was feeling pretty stressed because her workload as a lawyer was massive, and she didn't have any kids. She doesn't have any kids right now, but it felt like, probably from her perspective, that all of her deadlines were kids always wanting her attention, and she never had any time for herself at that time, to pursue her spiritual goals, her personal goals, things that made her feel alive other than the work that she loved to do. There just wasn't a balance, right? So she started noticing radical improvements in her time management as she was working with me. And she noticed a real key in her shift, her mindset shift from looking at things as obstacles through this obstacle perspective to a perspective of, I can handle this. I'm capable of handling anything that comes my way. So that brought her a real sense of security and confidence. And she started stepping into bigger shoes. It's really exciting to see her life now. All right, here is our, let's see here. I think this is the 5th step, and it's make a plan. If you don't have a plan, what are you aiming at, right? You need to have a plan so that you can move forward. If you don't have a plan, how are you going to move forward? People think life will just happen. It's just going to land on my plate, and I'm going to be given this marvelous life and somebody else is going to manage my time for me. Maybe my husband's just going to plan family fun time. Wouldn't that be great? Maybe my spouse is going to take care of it all. Or maybe I'll just find that as I put work first, that family time, there'll just be family time left over. Well, that is not going to happen either. If you don't make it a priority, then it definitely will fall off the bottom of your list, and your boss and coworkers are not necessarily looking out for the time that you want to take off and thinking ahead for you about how you want to create the lifestyle of your dreams. So you have to be in control of that. You need to take that on as a responsibility for your own life and step up to the next level. So here are the steps, right? We get into the nitty-gritty of what leads to a victory, a breakthrough in your life. And you'd think it'd be some grand thing, but it's quite fun and manageable because it's not this grand action you need to take. It's small little steps that lead to those big victories. And you might be thinking, yeah, those small steps. People always tell me to break my goals into small steps. But seriously, this is where the power lies for you in making a change. If you create steps that are too big, you may take 2 or 3. Maybe you'll just take 1. And you won't be able to manage how big of a goal it is that you've created for yourself, and then you'll drop it. You'll drop the ball and you won't pick it up again. Maybe a month down the road, you'll try and pick it up again, but it's too heavy because you haven't developed the muscles in order to be able to run with that kind of a goal. So you need to break your goal into small steps, because every time you achieve one small goal towards changing how you live your life and spending more time having fun and creating more balance for yourself, you're going to experience a victory. And that victory makes you happy, and it makes you proud, and it makes you confident. And that feeling motivates you from inside to take another step. And what happens then is you're developing inner motivation. Instead of, oh, everybody tells me I should have more balance, but I'm happy with the lifestyle I'm living. Even though I would like more balance, I would like to be having more fun. I do want more energy. I do want more time with my family. Well, you need to put the effort in then. You need to take these small steps. And then you'll be motivated from inside instead of from what other people are saying would be good for you. You'll be personally motivated and you'll want more because you'll taste how good it is to live that way. So take action. Today, I hope you've taken good notes, because those notes are going to be the basis of your action plan. They're going to help you really become clear on maybe what you need to let go of, what you need to prioritize, what your specific little baby goals are, and then how are you going to put that together into an action plan? Because new actions equal new results. Super exciting! When you take action, you get to enjoy new results. So I'm excited for you already, because I know some of you are serious about changing your lives. Some of you are serious about changing how you feel on a daily basis. And you, as you take action, I am confident are going to get new results. But you need to have a plan. So write down your plan. Maybe even 3 steps that you're going to take over the next week or 2 weeks to start seeing new changes in your life. Make a plan. Put it out somewhere in the open. Tell your spouse. Tell your good friends. Create some accountability for yourself. The perfect timing will not land on your plate. The free time that you want will not land on your plate without any effort. So how long are you going to wait until you do take action? Don't wait for the perfect timing. There is no such thing. You need support and accountability and mentorship if you are going to succeed in life. The smartest people, the most successful people, they surround themselves with others so they can have accountability for their goals. Because it's easy to give up when it's just you and yourself and I. You, yourself, and I, and you don't tell anybody about your goals. You have nobody who's gone before you and has experience. You have no support when times are really tough or when it takes longer than you think to achieve a goal. So this is what you need: support, accountability, and mentorship. You have to think about, what is it costing you? What's it costing you to not take action and to stay in comfort land? What's it costing your family? What is it costing you emotionally or mentally? Do you feel like you're going insane sometimes because things aren't changing still and you've wanted that change to happen for a couple years now? Do you feel like you're giving up a bit on life? That never feels good. Actually, I know how that feels. So how does it cost you? You don't want it to cost you anymore. What price is your family paying? Your family can pay a really big price if you are not happy and engaged in life, living life in a big way instead of playing small. Your family cannot get the attention they need. Your intimacy with your partner can suffer. So many things can suffer that make me really sad when people don't take care of themselves and they don't take a risk and go for the life that they really want to be living. So you have a choice. You always have a choice. You are never a victim. You have a choice with how you're going to spend your time. Are you going to create the balance or not? In the next 30 days, what would it mean for you to have more time and to decrease the stress and anxiety you might feel in this area? Can you imagine what would be achievable if you had more time and less stress in the next 30 days? That excites me. You can create this life balance in the next 30 to 60 days. What would be possible for you? What would you be able to achieve if you had better life balance that you were really proud of? I see a lot of smiling faces when I think of that. If you were able to conquer your stress and kickstart your health so that spiritually, emotionally, mentally, physically, you just felt like you were re-energized and rebooted. Wouldn't that feel amazing? I have the best program for you. It's called Breakthrough to Your Fun and Fabulous Life. And I'm going to share the details with you so you can see what I offer and how it could help you. So the program details look like this. It's an exclusive 6-month-long program. And every month I coach you privately as well as in a group. So I coach you for an hour every month. And we work on the specific things that you need to overcome, how you're going to overcome them, the steps you need to take. We really work deeply on transforming old beliefs that may be holding you back and limiting you. And we also help you really become aware of, how am I standing in my own way? Not what external things or people are blocking me from having the life that I want, but how may I be holding myself back? Because there's a lot of power that you have to overcome and be victorious and fearless when you can break through your own inner blocks. So I really help you do that. And I offer you the mentorship that you need, the support that you need, and massive accountability so that you can take steps and not lag behind or hold back due to fear. The group coaching happens every week for an hour. We hop on a call and there's a training portion and a Q&A portion every week so you can get your really pressing questions answered and you can stay on track with your goals. You can glean from the other people in the group and learn from them. You can also see and hear their celebrations, and when you're not having celebrations, their celebrations buoy your confidence. And when you're celebrating, they can take from you. So it's this beautiful give and take. It's like giving presents every week. Then you have lifetime access to the modules I've created for the members. There's a private membership area on Facebook, and all of the modules are kept there. There's audios, there's videos, and there's worksheets for you to download and work through at your own pace. So whenever it's good timing for you, they're always there. And they help you really deepen what I'm teaching in the coaching calls. So you can find out more about the program at amyengelmark.com/about. And this is how you can apply for the program and apply for time that's free to speak with me about the program and your goals to see if we would be a good fit for one another and to see if I would like to take you on as a client. And that's at amyengelmark.com/breakthrough. So there's a form for you to fill out and apply there. And I totally invite you to do that. It would be my pleasure to chat with you and take some time for you. And to do that, I've set aside about an hour or so in the next week to help you figure out if this is a good fit for you, show you how you can have all that you want to have in your life, and really kick the stress out of your life and gain more tools to be able to deal with stress in a really healthy, happy way. So I'll take the time to talk with you, walk you through the steps that you'd need to take so you can get the results that you want to see. So I totally encourage you to apply today, and to remind you that it's totally free as well. So you can apply at amyengelmark.com/about. And here is another testimonial for you to read. I'm going to, while you have a look at that testimonial, it's from a business owner that I coached in a group coaching program last fall. She had some unexpected but very energizing benefits that she wasn't even looking for when she joined the program. So have a read there. I'm going to type in the chat bar right now how you can apply for this complimentary hour with me so you can find out if the program would be right for you right now. amyengelmark.com/breakthrough. All right. Yeah, I really love this testimonial from Livia, because what she says there about me being able to ask the right questions at the right time to help you have a breakthrough, that is what I love doing. I'm a very curious person as a coach, and my areas of expertise let me know often what people are struggling with and help you become really self-aware so that you can take back control of how you are responding or reacting, so that you can choose to respond instead of react and create the life that you want. So I would love to know, what is your aha? What is your one main takeaway from this webinar today? I'm going to have a sip of tea while I wait to hear from you and find out, what is your one big aha? What's your one gold nugget that you're taking away from this webinar? All right, I'll stop sharing my screen. Come back to you with my tea, my angelic, shimmery look. And I'll also ask you, as you share your ahas, look forward to reading them, by the way, I will ask you this question. Who knows? Does anyone know the name of my animal? If you don't know the name of the animal that I have, you could tell me what kind of animal I have. If you follow me on Facebook, you'll know I have an animal. Maybe I haven't posted enough pictures of him lately, but you can take a guess. And then if you get the answer right, I will send you this lovely bag full of kisses and a special note from me inside. Thank you so much for joining me on this webinar. It was my pleasure to share with you and to train you on those 6 steps to making family time a priority again. My desire for you is to have the lifestyle that you want, to be able to feel energized, stop feeling worn out or burnout, but to feel energized, full of life, happy about your decisions, and able to spend time the way you want to spend it and have more freedom in that area. So thanks for joining me, and I really look forward to hearing your feedback. You can see, you're going to get the replay for those of you who weren't able to stay on here for the whole webinar. So keep a lookout for it in your inbox. It's going to be sent to you. Have a lovely, lovely day. Thanks for joining me. Ciao.